Hello, welcome to another unboxing. This time it's the Smallrig for Sony A6000 series camera. This one is for the Sony A6000 or A6300 camera cage, and this one, which I've got as a warehouse deal on Amazon, is for the A6500. So I'll be going through putting them on the two cameras, and what size lenses will the handle get in the way, and how about if we use an adapter, will that get in the way? So got to go a little bit in depth into this, not just an opening. Okay, so let's start off with one for the 6500. So I got this on a warehouse deal. It's the Black Friday. They had 20% off warehouse deals, and this one came up. And I got the two of them together for £69, and these are the ones with the wooden handles, which puts the price up a bit. So I thought I got not too bad a deal there. And I've been looking at these for a while, wondering whether it would be nice to have. I mean, it's not really protection, these things, by the way, as such, because it really only covers the front. It leaves the back open, but you can put so many things on it, and it'll also increase the grip. Now on the 6500 there is much more of a grip, but my hands aren't massive, and it's okay, it's quite comfy. You can get your fingers right in and touch, and it doesn't get in the way of the lens. Whereas on the original 6000 it's not quite as deep, and if you've got a big lens on there, it does put quite a bit of strain on the bottom fingers. Holding this is my lovely lens. This is really do like this 18-200. About 11 times optical. It's a video lens, and I do love it a lot. It's got stabilisation in it, so hence that's why that's now on the 6000. And on here at the moment I've got the Sigma 30mm Contemporary Prime. I quite like it, but I needed the stabilisation that this new camera offers for this to really be an option for me. The one thing I must say about this lens is the contrast is quite high on it, and the colours look a lot different. This lens has created more difference than any other lens I've used so far. So yeah, it sort of puts an effect on when you don't really want it, but you know, there we are. It's a much cheaper lens than a lot of the others I've got. I think I paid about $220 for it at the camera show a few years ago. Anyway, let's get on. So we're doing the 6500 first. Put this to one side here. I say this was a warehouse deal. It said it had been used maybe once or twice, has some scratches. So let's see how used it is. So I'm not really bothered about packaging because I don't usually keep it. Wow. That doesn't look as if it's been used at all. I mean, you'd expect there to be one or two scratches there, maybe, or maybe some scratches where things have been connected, but it doesn't look like it. Maybe a little bit around. I don't know if that's the casting of it, it's just a bad cast. Maybe there a little bit. But anyway, and it's aluminium, quite light. Another reason. And I do like the idea of you've got a few cold shoes, and you can add all sorts of different things, ball joints, video monitor holders. You can put nice big arms coming out to put microphones on and things, so increases the options. But I say at the moment I've gone for it to increase the grip, so that's why I've gone for the ones with the wooden handle. So let's go ahead and I guess I put that on first. I don't know which revision this is, because I think there's been a second revision of these handles, so maybe someone will know just by looking at it. I don't know. It feels like it's been it is wood, but it feels like it's been made by pressing it more than any sort of carpentry going on. Anyway, feels nice and strong. So how does this go on? Oh right, I see there's 2 holes there and 1 hole there. And yes, I guess it goes on like that. So yeah, that increases the grip quite a bit. But anyway, let's screw that on then. Allen key included, great. So there are 3 screws, 3 bolts, 2 Allen keys for some reason. Well, I think they all look exactly the same. Oh, there's another smaller bolt. 1, 2, 3. So I don't know what that's for. Maybe that's for holding the camera in situ. Okay. So there's a washer on that. So it doesn't look very used to me, so I've made the right choice. I think Amazon really ought to put photos up with their warehouse stuff, so you can, a bit like eBay, so you can see what it is you're getting. Rather than just taking, you have to take a chance with the warehouse deals that it's going to be alright. I mean, they will take them back, but it's a bit of a faff, isn't it? Having to send things back. Right, so that's just loosely done up. Now I'll tighten it up a little bit more. Seems to be quite shallow. I was waiting for it to sort of give a reassuring clunk as the Allen key went in, but it actually doesn't go in very far. Okay, so that's reasonably tight. So let's see, will it go through with that lens on? Yes, it will. So what about this? Oh, that's good. There's actually a cutout there so I can keep my strap in situ, so that's good. Okay. So those marks might have been very well made by like this, using too small a screwdriver when doing it up. In fact, I haven't got a larger one. But it should be a nice large screwdriver really to be safe, so I won't do it too tightly. So you can still take the battery out quite easily and the card, so that's good. Actually, let me just zoom in a little bit so we can have a closer look. Right, there we go. So, as I say, door nice and free moving. And in fact, I think that offers a little bit of protection, so I'm always worried about breaking that door because although most of the camera is metal, these doors are plastic, which I always found a bit annoying. So there we are. On the side there, there's all sorts of different connections available. 2 types of thread there. And a locking one. And there's various connections here too. On the side you can still get the HDMI and microphone access, and you can buy a clamp to go on there to save it moving about. You can still keep on for your wrist connections or over the head or whatever. They're still easy to get to. So there's no restriction really there. You can still reach, let's put it around as if I'm operating it. It's a substantially bigger grip now. That's made the camera feel completely different. It feels more like an SLR now. So my fingers aren't going as they were right into the little crevice now. They naturally grab around that wood, and that feels better. That feels, I'll have to see though, because I mean it's one thing to hold it here just giving you a quick demo, but it's quite another to take it out and use it all day. So we're waiting to see how comfy that feels, but initially that feels pretty good. So obviously you can still reach your flash. I don't know if anyone ever uses it. I've often found it quite good like this. When you're taking a picture, you can just hold it up with one finger or a thumb or something while you're taking a picture and bounce it off. Or you can even go slightly behind as well. You've got it, you know, to one side or the other. I don't use it directly, but I have used it up like that, and that sort of works. You can get bands of flash though when you start messing around with it, so there's a bit of trial and error. well, all photography is, isn't it, really? So you can access the flash nice and easily. So all-round access is pretty good. So how easy is it to get to taking the lens out? There's actually a bit cut out there, so you can easily reach that button to take the lens out if needs be. So I made that look a bit awkward, didn't I? You can reach your button there. So I would normally do it this way round and then twist. It's quite a tight fit at the moment on this 6500. This flange is much tighter than the other one, but there again, I haven't had the camera as long, but it feels a tighter fit anyway than the 6000. So that's okay. But what if we've got a converter and a big lens to go on? Now how about that? So let's take that one off again. Let's just cover that one up. Right, now how easily is this going to work? I mean, let me come out wider now. Right, so how easy is it going to be to fit a big lens on with an adapter? How's that going to be? There it is. So that just that just fits in under there. I think they thought about this design. So yeah, it does fit okay. This is quite a nice combination, by the way, because this needs stabilization. This old Minolta rebadged Sony 500mm mirror lens or reflex. I used it at React this year and it was quite good, but I forgot that I put the shutter speed, because it's an f8, so I put the shutter speed on at 4000 to start with, and completely forgot during the day that I'd done that, and did nearly all my photography that day with that speed, but never mind. So holding a heavy lens like that with one hand, I can still feel I want a bit more grip. Obviously they're not going to make it any longer, are they? Otherwise, you know, the whole camera won't sit down. But we're holding that sort of weight with one hand. I feel like I want to hold it with, you know, my entire hand. But, you know, I can still do it. But I mean, got to watch out because this top bit moves. So I would probably use it like this anyway. So they have thought about it, Smallrig, then. And I think you can even get an accessory which supports this. So there's loads of them on there. You name it, whatever you need it for, it seems to be there. Anyway, so that's a resounding thumbs up for the 6500 cage. And let's see about getting it out. So it is still quite easy to access the little button there, but I would always do it this way anyway. So yeah, it does come off fairly easily. And after putting that one on, this feels, like a different camera. I'll just put that tulip, well, it's not a tulip, is it, that thing there. Right, so I'm going to have to, well, there's no instructions with this one, so I hope there's some instructions with the other one telling me what this little screw is for. I'm looking for a tiny hole anywhere. Maybe one there, that. It's only a tiny little bolt. Anyway, so it's made the camera feel much bigger all of a sudden. So yeah, I quite like that. Obviously I won't know for sure till I get out and use the thing. But I've got the feeling already I'm starting to use this hand, so I've got the feeling I'm going to be much less like this anyway, and much more both. But when you're walking around, that's when I notice as well, because I used to tend to just cup it and just let it dangle while I'm walking around, and I always keep a strap on for safety because I don't always trust myself. So yeah, you can't really get your fingers right, well you can, but it's not comfortable. So now, rather than grip right the way round and fingers touching the camera body, it's more of a grip onto the front now. And in fact, thinking about it, where I was saying I want to grip with this finger, of course that's carrying, and then as you're taking photos, this finger automatically comes up here, doesn't it? And now it all makes sense. And in fact, that feels right now. That doesn't feel right. So carrying it around, that I'll probably end up carrying it around like that. Yeah, it feels completely different, and so it should do really, because it's sculpted especially for this camera, isn't it? That feels right now. Yeah, I'll take back what I said about that. Anyway, it's all a learning process. I mean, I'm not an expert photographer. I've just in the last few years moved on to these APS-Cs, and years ago I would have only spent about £300 on a camera. I had like a TX10, little Sony, things like that a few years back. And since YouTube's come along, and I was using this for filming these, but I bought myself a little video camera, which is a lot less hassle to have this one permanently at home, and I don't have to worry about it going up to 30 minutes. I know you can put an app into one of these to make it run longer, but I thought no. These are more, although they do video, these are more cameras for photos, because the rolling shutter is terrible on this. I mean, if you go like that, it's like you're filming a jelly. Anyway, so that's number one. So stop whittering on. Leave that one there now. And let's do the second one, and maybe it will have a booklet in and tell me what that little thing, where that goes. Okay, so I'll leave this big heavy lens on the 6000. So this one's for the 6000 and the 6300. That's a separate one for the 6500. So this one really does need a bit more grip, because when you've got a big lens on, it's not really enough. Although I've used it like this for years, but I say you tend to hold the other lens, that's what you do. But sometimes it's nice just to shoot with one hand, or you've got to get into a little space or something. Right, so let's see what the difference is for buying a brand new one to one that was on the Amazon warehouse. Although I couldn't tell that was second hand, other than the scratches where I say someone's used the wrong size screwdriver there. Can't really tell. Okay, so basically by the time I've taken the box away, it's the same packaging. It's quite a sturdy bag, that. Wooden handle. One rig. Yep, with no scratches. And how different is that? Yeah, this seems to lift out more. Oh, there's. Oh, I should have mentioned that there is actually a cold shoe. What looks like a cold shoe there, whereas this one doesn't have that. But it's got one here, I think. Possibly. Looks about the right size for a cold shoe, but it doesn't fit against anything. So maybe that's one of the main differences there. I reckon for this one I'm going to have to take the lens off. Yep. This feels a tighter fit than the other one. Less movement room here. Let's just put that lens straight back on. Okay. So once again, I'm just going to do this one up gently, because I don't want to scratch or mess up this. Strange, didn't feel like much of a turn to get it on there. Okay, that'll do for that. Not too tight. I think I'm not going to use that as the lever. I'm going to use this as the lever so I don't tighten it up too much. Okay, so that's on reasonably tightly. Now this is a big lens this time, so let's see. And again, it's changed the feel. So once again, I don't want to put my fingers down here anymore. They naturally want to rest here. In fact, I could probably even do the focusing at a push. Yep, so once again, a much bigger grip. Feels much more like an SLR now. Much more substantial. And let's have a quick look round. So access, as you would imagine, is to your flash, to your hot shoe. At this time though, interestingly, you can't see what this one's set to very easily at all. Well, that's interesting. So this one doesn't matter, but yeah, it's a struggle to see now. If you're looking down on it, what that's actually set to. That's a bit annoying, because it comes up on the display. Yeah, so that is not as good a design as that one, where you can actually see what you set it to. So not quite as good then as the first one, but just on that one thing alone. So again, you can reach all your connections. There we go, so they're easy enough to reach. Of course, no microphone on this one, unfortunately. Still, for any lanyards, etc., still nice free movement to get to that. You can still get to the case and to the card for battery changing. And again, it actually, that feels quite nice holding it. Let's just come back out a bit now. That feels quite nice holding it like that with thumbs on top. Oh, I don't think I'll do it like that, will I? Yeah, that feels all right. So let's give it the adapter test once again. Where are we? And once again, look, it just fits in. Just nice, close. Yeah, it's fine. That feels a lot better having that cage around it, holding a lens like this now. But I don't think I would actually use this lens on this camera. As I say, there's no stabilisation in the lens and none in the camera. So unless it was on a tripod and you were remotely triggering it, I wouldn't use it on this one. Now, how easy is it to get out? So I can actually still reach down here with my finger. It is easier on this one to take lenses on and off, because this flange is much less tight than that one on the other camera. I say it might be just a difference in age, but I don't know, it feels much tighter on the other one. So now, will a flash fit? So I've got this Sony flash. I'll put a link to the unboxing of that flash up now, up there. So let's see. So I did see some reviews of certain types of makeup flash wouldn't fit. So now let's see. No, I'd say that's a no actually. Let's just try it. So that's the 6500. This is the 6000. And again, it's a no. So it's a total fail. It's pushing the whole unit up, so I don't want to push it any further without damaging it. Let's just have one more go. It's in the shoe there, but that bar is making the whole flash bend upwards. Let me see, there we go. You can see the whole flash is bending upwards there. So pushing it in. So no. Damn. So unfortunately for this flash, which is one of Sony's own, no, it doesn't. So I mean, we have got the cold shoes, but that's no use because I want my TTL. So that will sit there. There's no TTL. So that, yeah, that's a problem. That's a shame. That's a real shame. So no. Let's just try this one once more. Just make sure. I don't want to force it too much though. No. See, it's pushed the entire unit right up. It's not gone right the way in. It's still not in. As you can see, it's pushed it right up there. So really it wants to be flat like that, and it's actually pushing it up. So no, that's a total fail. Damn. I was hoping I'd be able to keep these on permanently without ever having to take them off. So now when I need the flash, I'm going to have to take the damn rig off. Well, there we are. So there is one downside to it if you're thinking about buying these. I mean, this has got quite a good gap as well in the front. So I can't see many flashes fitting that at all. So unless I can find some sort of little extension wire for the TTL flash, but even then it's got to still be mounted, hasn't it? Anyway, if anyone has any thoughts on that, please leave some comments. So it's a fail for flashes, unfortunately. Okay, so let's have a quick look at them side by side now. First thing to notice, if I roughly just measure here, take that over, the grips are exactly the same now on both cameras. So the most advantage is on the 6000. Because I see that grip was very small. You can try and leave them like they are. You can see inside how small a grip it is. So that is much better. So the only downside to this design is it's not quite so easy to see your selection wheel there, but I say it does come up on the screen. So that's the only downside to that design. They both got cold shoes by the look of things, and all sorts of various connections all the way around, so fine. That small bolt though, I don't know what that's for. It fits in these holes here, so I've just kept it there for the moment, and I can't remember if I had two, and if I have, I've just lost one. But I'll find it on the carpet in a minute. I can't see what they're for, and there's no manual or anything with the Smallrigs, so there we are. So it makes them not really any much heavier at all, but it does give a much better grip if that was why you were thinking of going for them. Makes them look quite different. In fact, it's hard to tell what they are now because the little Sony logos are hiding right down inside now. So yeah, I like it. Obviously I won't know for sure until I take them out and start using them, but I think that might be a bit better, and I'll probably be using the extra shoes maybe for microphones, possibly. Oh, and I did find a better screwdriver for this. Yeah, don't use too small a screwdriver on this one, otherwise it will get scratched and possibly chipped. I say I've mainly got them for the grips. Anyway, so there we are. So that was the two Smallrigs, one for the 6000 or 6300, this is the 6000, and the one for the 6500. Thanks for watching. See you again next time.